Good evening. This is Pastor Skip. Just going to bring a brief Fusion Pulse message. I had planned to, and I do plan still, to have a Google Hangout with everybody, but just in case, the way technology is, if there's a problem, I thought I would just share with you what was on my heart. And how this started was I saw something on YouTube, and it was Phil Robertson from Duck Dynasty, and I know some may be thinking, so that's the theologian that you follow, and I guess to some degree it is. He's just as an honest speaker of honest truth. So I was listening to him, and he talked about the coronavirus, how you can't see it, and yet people believe. Putting on the other side of things, that talking about God, it's interesting how people say, I can't see God, so I don't believe. So we have the virus you can't see, and yet people believe. There's God, people can't see, and yet people believe. And so this evening, very quickly, I just want to share with you, youth, that there are four things, or four reasons why we can and must believe in God. Four proofs of God, if you will. The first is probably creation. And when you talk about creation, you have kind of two sides. You have these evolutionists who believe that all of these things in these perfect conditions, these ammonias and these proteins, they came together in this kind of soupiness, and boom, life was created. And yet we have on the other side, well, let me just continue that path. But you still follow that path, and then all of a sudden you ask the scientists, well, where did those things come from? Where did the ammonias? Where did the proteins? Where did all of this stuff come from? And there is no answer, because there can be no answer. God provides so clearly an answer. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Our answer is this: at the beginning was God. Now, you don't have to believe it, but at least it's an answer. So number one, creation provides us an answer. God is, because God always was. The second thing is what I call living environment. I grew up in Buck Rogers, and then at my very earliest remembrances, then of course I grew up with Star Trek, and still today I watch Star Trek. Yes, I do. All the different series, all the different movies, I've seen them all. But there was this belief that I had growing up in school that we were going to find this wealth of life outside our planet. And I'm not talking about dozens or hundreds, but not even thousands, but millions of planets were going to have life. And it was going to sort of be like that certain point in time, these people were going to come down on Earth and say, you're ready for us now. And we really, I think we've all believed that. But the last 10 years, there's been such scientific study about these exoplanets. We're finding them more than daily. We're finding them nonstop. So we have these planets out there that are, quote, Earth-like. And so the thought really was by scientists that by now we would find one that would say, yes, it has life. You know what we have seen? We have seen this, that our life on this planet is so fragile. It is so fragile that we're realizing that there, and now even those who are evolutionists are believing there has to be a master designer, because there could not be life without uniqueness. And I'm talking about the unbelievable uniqueness of our planet that has allowed us to have the life that does. And the master designer, they don't know yet, but when you go from master designer, the next step is God. God is our master designer. The proof of God is not only in creation, but in this planet in which we live in that has provided life. The size of it, distance from the sun, the moon, all of this proves there was a master designer called God. The third thing is I call the duality of good and evil. Either mankind is a disaster, or there's something that proves that there is God. Because there is truly a duality going on. We see good and we see evil. And you can believe that there is within each one of us that we are born with this good and evil, and we are really sick puppies. Or you have to believe that yes, there is a duality, and the duality is called the devil, and the duality is called God. The devil has come to kill, steal, and destroy. God has come that we might have life and have it more abundant. But there is a duality, but it's not an internal, naturally bred duality. It's because it's good and evil. And when you allow God into your heart and life, you'll begin to see the duality, the separation of duality. God becomes greater, the devil becomes less. But that duality that we see in human history is God and the devil. I'm just thankful greater is he that is in us than he that is in the world. So when we have God, we have that portion of the duality. And the last thing is, I can only ask you, I do got to tell you, I miss you all. I wish we could be doing this in person. You cannot believe how much I miss seeing each and every one of you. But I would beg you to do what the Bible suggests. And it's simply this: taste and know that the Lord is good. That's all you got to do. I'm only asking you. I'm not asking you to become missionaries. I'm not asking you to become pastors. I'm not asking you to go around the world. All I'm asking you this evening is to taste. And I'm telling you, if you taste, the Lord is much like a Lay's potato chip. If you taste one, you're going to want more. I can tell you to taste and know that the Lord is good because there was a time I did not believe in God. And because of the influence of a young lady in my life, who you know is to be Dale, who I've been with almost 50 years, that she got me to taste. And then when I tasted, I saw the goodness of God. So tonight, I just ask you, will you consider tasting? We've talked about tasting before. I haven't called it tasting, but Romans 10:9 says, if we confess with our mouth Jesus is Lord and believe in our heart that God raised him from the dead, we shall be saved. That's the tasting. That's the starting point. You believe in God and you say, God, yeah, I want a taste of you. Come into my heart. Going back to Dale 50 years ago, she was a stranger to me. I remember the very night we met. It took time talking to her. Letters back and forth. Yes, I lived in a time of letters. We didn't even do phone calls, but there were letters. And we talked, then there was the letters, then there was the visitations, and then love, and then from love, marriage, and then from there, this long-term relationship, taste. So you invite him in. You confess with your mouth. You believe in your heart. You get him into your heart and life. Then read the word. Then not only read the word, but talk to him. Well, I'm not very good at praying. I'm not talking about praying. I'm saying talking to him. Once you taste and see that the Lord is good, I'm telling you, just like me, you will never, never, ever go back. Yeah, I admit, you can't see God. But I also got to admit, I haven't seen that coronavirus that's supposed to be around here. But it's real. And I'm telling you, God is real. All I'm asking you is to try him, taste him, and learn that he is good. Thank you. Hope to see you soon in person.